Hi, welcome to Taffy's Texas Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls. And I'm going to get everything together and I'll be right back with you. I'm going to start off by getting my yeast ready. In my bowl I've got 3/4 cup of pumpkin spice creamer. And in any recipe that you're making, if it calls for milk, you can replace it with creamer. And since we're making this pumpkin spice, I'm using a pumpkin spice creamer today. My creamer, I warm that up in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then you just want it to be like lukewarm, like if you're making a baby's bottle. And I'm using rapid dry yeast today, and I am putting in 2 packets. And then to that, I'm going to put in a teaspoon of sugar. And then I'm going to let this set for just a few minutes, just so I can make sure my yeast is active and will bloom. And you don't have to do that with rapid dry yeast, but I just always like to, just because I just don't want to go through all that process and wasting all that ingredients, because, you know, 4 cups of flour and sugar and all that's expensive. So I just don't want to go through all that effort and then find out in the end you won't know until you're letting your dough rise if your yeast is active or not, if you don't, you know, test it out first. So mine's already bubbling. I can already see it bubbling. But I'm just going to let this sit here for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back. Okay, my yeast is active. It's bubbled up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my bowl. And to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, I'm going to add 1 large egg, and I'm just going to give it a mix to break up that egg yolk. And then we're going to need 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree. My daughter, we were watching, I don't know what we were watching. We were watching TV together, and a commercial had came on for pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls. And she's like, oh, that looks good. And I looked at her and I was like, I could make that. And so this is where this recipe came from, or the reason I'm making it. So I'm going to give this a stir together. Then we need 1/4 cup of butter, or 1/2 stick of butter. And this has been setting out all morning, so it's softened. And then we need 3/4 cup of sugar. This is a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to mix this together. I'm going to scrape down my sides and then scrape down to the bottom just to make sure everything's mixed. And then we're going to put in 4 cups of flour. Now it may need more flour than that. No recipe can be exact on flour because you just, it depends on your weather. You know, flour, on different days you may need more flour or less flour. So we just want this dough, you should be able to, it shouldn't be real tacky. It should be, you should be able to handle it. Okay, I'm going to scrape down my sides. And I definitely will need more flour. Now when I was measuring out my flour, if you notice, I didn't scoop it completely full to the top. And the reason I did that is because sometimes you need less flour, so I'd rather do a little bit less in the beginning and add more. So I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of flour and then let this mix again. Now this time it's completely coming away from the sides of the bowl, and that's what you want. Okay, I'm gonna let this knead for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, it's been kneading for about 7 minutes. I just put a little flour in my hand. I'm gonna take this off of here. Gonna put a little flour in my hand, sprinkle it in there, and then just turn it over a little bit. And then I'm gonna put some oil just right in here in the bowl, and then turn the dough over. And this just coats the dough so that it rises up the sides and doesn't stick. And then I'm going to cover it and I'm going to let this rise for an hour and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to roll these out. It's doubled in size. I'm just going to flour it lightly with some flour. little flour on my rolling pin. You just want to kind of get them in a triangle. Not a triangle. You want to get it into a rectangle. About as even as you can. And then I got a half a stick, the other half of the stick of butter that's been softened, and I'm just going to spread that out with my fingers. And I'm going to leave that edge with nothing on it so that you can pinch that together with the outside to close up your cinnamon rolls. But all the rest of the edges, you want to make sure you go all the way to the edge. And then I've got a cup of brown sugar. And I'm just going to spread that on, or sprinkle it on. You want to make sure you get all the way to the edges, except for that one edge, so that all your cinnamon rolls have good stuff inside of them. And that's my oven. I have it set at 350. Hold on, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Okay, and then I'm gonna sprinkle this with cinnamon. Just about as much as you like, because cinnamon is kind of I had to get some more out. Sprinkle just as much as you like. Cinnamon is up to your own taste. Every individual is different on that, so we tend to like a heavy amount. So, and then you're going to take this edge here and just start rolling. I like to just go up and down the whole thing, trying to get it as tight as I can. kind of like to just keep pushing my ends in. And then when we get to that back part that we left with no topping or brown sugar, then you want to pull that up and then just start pinching that into the top of the dough there, so it closes up the cinnamon roll. And then we're just going to roll it over onto that seam. And then I'm just going to start in the middle, about 1-inch pieces. And then I've already greased the pan, and then I'm just gonna set these in here. And then I'm going to let these rise again for about 30 minutes. And then we'll be back. Just got the cinnamon rolls out of the oven. And I'm going to let them cool for a little bit. But while they're cooling, I'm going to make up some icing. I've got 2 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm just going to put in probably about a tablespoon to start with. You just want to add a little bit at a time. And again, I'm using the coffee creamer. And if you don't want to use a coffee creamer at all, just replace the coffee creamer and the dough, and then this just with milk. And of course, if you get too much liquid in there, you can always add a little bit more powdered sugar. And you just want to stir it till you feel like it's at a good consistency, and I think that's perfect to me. So I'm just going to let these cool off, because if you put it on when they're hot, then this will just melt right into it. And so we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ice these. Now I got 10 cinnamon rolls, but it's because I cut mine bigger and bigger pieces. That's how they look. Alright, we'll be back in just a minute. Have a taste test. Okay, I got Trisha with me. She's gonna be my taste tester since this was her idea.
Who said it was my idea?
I said it was your idea because we were watching that commercial.
Oh, okay.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well thank you guys for being with me today. Remember to show kindness to others, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe. Bye.